Thank you very much, Jack. Great to hear from INORI on what it took to achieve this 3-0, right? Pointing a lot towards the improvements that they made over this last week.
A lot of work.
And the effort that was put in by the team. Also throwing a nod towards Dignitas, because I'll even call back to the end of game one. After going off air, you turned to me and you said, is Dignitas playing better or worse than we expected? And the answer was that they're playing better. So even in the losses, we're still seeing improvement out of this roster that, you know, has basically been on an upward swing from beginning of split to where they are now, although their season or rather split ends here today.
Yeah, I just think stylistically, it's kind of a mismatch because even if Ryu didn't go crazy carry mode today, I think that their bot lane just isn't like consistently strong enough to be able to pressure P1's bot lane. And so with that in mind, that's really the only super big hole unless your jungler is better than the other jungler. And I didn't think Chaser had a super great series either.
And honestly, Stunt, improvements from the game #1 where we're all criticizing, and rightfully so, he's getting hit by almost all the skill shots.
Right.
Definitely marked improvements from him in the subsequent games. And we always talk about the rookie factors, right? You know, now he has some, you know, playoff games that he's gone through. You saw how happy he was. He'll be more confident, you know, moving on to their next opponent.
Yeah, I'd say across the board from Phoenix One, solid play from all of them individually. Of course, we do have to recognize one player in particular as our player of the series, and that's going to be Ryu here. No surprise. From Syndra to LeBlanc to Orianna, he had big plays on all three.
Yeah, he literally single-handedly saved their early game first game, and he saved their late game third game, and the second game he just split and created so much pressure. I think that this guy played a monster series, and he's been very unassuming throughout the year, I think. Outside the very first weeks, he hasn't been like, wow, that guy made a huge play, but today he had an amazing series.
Every single game, he was putting the carry in mid lane. Really, really well deserved from him.
Well, and that's the thing. If we go back to Jat's point there where he was talking to INORI about what, you know, when you came into Phoenix One, you were the carry. Well, now you've got these two imports, Ryu and Arrow, who can 100% serve as carries across pretty much all stages of the game. You know, it's an interesting dynamic for an aggressive jungler like INORI to have to sometimes take a back seat to that, but it does open, or at least feels like it opens up so many more options for P1 strategically as they move forward.
Yeah, for instance, they used to always bring in Meteos, have them play front line so that their top lane can get enabled to play more bruiser style. And this game, it felt like, although they had top lane tanks for 2 of the 3 games. The third game, he was able to play Fizz, which is more like bruiser oriented. So even with like a Kha'Zix, which may not be ideal, they were still able to play around it.
Yeah, I think it is important because one of the best things about Zig that we keep on talking about is his versatility.
Right.
And if your jungler is not versatile also to play the other half, then it really does limit that top laner. And it's really good to see both of them shine.
Versatility is going to come in handy, too, from Zig if he's going up against possible 2 different top laners next week in C9. With their win today, Phoenix One will move on to the semifinals against C9 due to dynamic seeding, which means the winner of tomorrow's matchup between Counterlogic Gaming and FlyQuest will face TSM. Now, looking ahead to next week's showdown between Cloud9 and Phoenix One, standing in P1's way is C9's deadly top laners.
Definitely their top laners. Also, their bottom laners, I feel like. Because we talk about bottom lanes being able to punish. The Smoothie and Sneaky have been really, really good as a duo. Not to mention, actually, we're just going to name all the lanes now, I guess.
Yeah.
As great as Ryu was, like, Jensen is a different, we talk about, like, levels of NA mid laners. Jensen Bjergsen is kind of a different one. So
right. We'll dive into more of the matchups in just a second.
I ruined your...
I know, it's all right. But no, speaking of the top laners, our duo team had the opportunity to speak with them and build a piece around them. Take a look.
스크림이라든지 경기를 하고 있을 때 약간 실수가 나오면 좀 약간 걱정되긴 해요. 아, 이거는 만약 임팩트 형이었으면은 이거 되게 잘 대처를 했을 텐데. 임팩트 형이 되게 독보적이잖아요, 위치가.
All right, now you can talk, Kobe.
Yeah, nice promo there. But to me, the top laners are actually the least lane that I would highlight for that one. it would be the Jensen lane as well as the bottom lane potential to punish there.
Right. I think there'll be huge questions around Jensen's ability to rein Ryu in, given the performances that we saw out of Ryu today. Again, the expectation across the season is that Arrow will be a top performer, but given that we saw them lose the 2v2 to Sneaky Smoothie just last week, I feel like C9 will be confident in that lane. It's all about the mid lane focus, and can contracts maybe help, you know, rein Ryu in along with Jensen?
Yep, I'm interested in the bot lane matchup and especially the jungle matchup. Like, sure, Nori had a pretty good series today, like way better than I expected or expectations coming in. But Contracts has kind of also had improvement throughout the later half of the season, and I think that it'll be interesting seeing the two match up because I don't know if necessarily they're both like top 3 in their position, but they both should be about kind of midway.
I know you don't want to talk about the top laners, but I just looked in the prompter and I have to say one more thing about them, so just hold
Go
back,
ahead.
Toby. You can catch the premiere of the newest episode of Duos this Tuesday, April 11th. You'll learn a lot about Impact and Ray. That's going to do it for the broadcast today. Clearly, we need some rest or something like that. So on behalf of myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Those top laners, though.
Those top laners!